In downtown Millville stood a bank with a long legacy, Boulder Ridge Trust. For over 50 years, it had been a staple of the community, but now, like so many others, it was struggling. The economy had taken a toll, and the bank was facing a serious crisis. If it couldn't raise $2 billion in a matter of weeks, it would have to shut down, leaving hundreds of people out of work. The board and managers were scrambling, but no one seemed interested in investing in what looked like a sinking ship. Its reputation had taken a massive hit, and the community was starting to lose faith. That's when one person saw an opportunity: Walter Stein. Known for saving failing businesses with his vast wealth, Walter wasn't your typical billionaire. He was a mysterious investor, never seeking attention or showing up in flashy cars. Walter had a different plan this time. Instead of just writing a check, he decided to test the heart of the bank. He would disguise himself as a homeless man and see how they treated him. If they treated him with dignity, he would invest the $3 billion to save them. If not, he'd walk away. Dressed in tattered clothes, a ragged cap pulled low, and worn-out shoes, Walter approached the bank. As he got closer, Jimmy, the security guard, noticed him immediately and frowned. He'd seen his fair share of strange characters, but something about this man made him pause. "Hey, buddy," Jimmy called out. "You can't just walk in here looking like that." Walter simply raised his hand, offering a calm smile. "I just need to withdraw some money from my account," he said. Jimmy didn't believe him. "You don't look like you're here for that," he said, eyeing Walter suspiciously. Ignoring the guard's warning, Walter walked past him and entered the bank. Inside, the atmosphere was much different. Sharp suits, sleek desks, and glass walls. This was a world of high stakes and high finance. Walter approached the teller, Nancy, who couldn't hide her surprise when she saw him. Her warm smile faded as soon as she took in his appearance. "How can I help you?" she asked, her tone colder than expected. "I need to speak with the manager," Walter replied. After a brief hesitation, Nancy picked up the phone and called for the manager, Samantha Richardson. Samantha was the branch manager, a seasoned professional who had been with Boulder Ridge for 15 years. When she appeared, her sharp eyes immediately assessed Walter, and she walked toward him with an air of authority. "What's going on here?" Samantha asked, her voice firm. "I just wanted to speak to you about some business," Walter began. "I've been a customer for years and—" Before he could finish, Samantha cut him off, her voice dismissive. "Look, this is a bank, not a homeless shelter. If you've got a real issue, you can speak to someone else. Otherwise, I suggest you leave." Walter's face hardened. He hadn't expected a warm welcome, but the harshness of her tone struck a nerve. He straightened up, pulling off his hat, revealing his true identity. The room froze. Gasps erupted as people in the bank realized who stood before them: Walter Stein, the billionaire investor, the man whose name was known across the financial world. Samantha's face turned pale. She stammered, barely able to comprehend what was happening. "Yes," Walter said calmly, "I was going to invest $3 billion to save this bank from going under. But after the way you treated me, I've decided to walk away." Samantha stood speechless, her mouth hanging open, as Walter turned and walked out without another word. Outside, Walter couldn't help but wonder what had happened to values like integrity and kindness. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the way people treated each other, especially when they thought no one was watching. By the next morning, the story was all over Millville. Word spread quickly. Walter Stein, the billionaire who had saved countless companies, had walked into Boulder Ridge Trust disguised as a homeless man and left without investing a dime. Samantha sat in her office, trembling as she scrolled through her phone. Articles and comments flooded in, each one more humiliating than the last. The words arrogant, cold-hearted, and judgmental seemed to follow her everywhere. The fallout was immediate. The bank's fate was sealed. With its lack of character and arrogance, Boulder Ridge Trust was left to sink. And as the public outcry grew, there was no one left to save it. In the end, Walter's decision wasn't just about the money, it was about standing up for what mattered most. And Boulder Ridge Trust, blinded by arrogance and a lack of respect, had lost everything. The bank's collapse wasn't just a financial failure, it was a failure of values, and Millville would never forget it. And so Walter Stein's lesson stood clear. Money might save a company, but character is what truly sustains it.